Now on CoastTV News.
There now becomes a healing process between the city and the residents, and we'll continue to work toward that.
Eminent domain decision. Milford City Council's bold move, how it affects the future of local development. Rehoboth's rate hike. Parking now $4 a spot. The impact on your beach days and the local business reaction. Wind power woes. Ocean City stands against U.S. wind. What it means for the community and the ongoing energy debate.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
The long and controversial Milford eminent domain drama coming to a close. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with the city of Milford changing their mind on that controversial ruling.
Milford City Council voted 6-0 to overturn their ruling of eminent domain to acquire Annette Billings' property. They wanted to use it for a bike path. Live in Milford is CoastTV News reporter Charles Reinert. Charles, Billings said this is a massive weight off her shoulders.
Maddie, I spoke with both Billings and the city this afternoon, and both told me that they're just glad this is over with. This is after legal action and lots of public outcry. And that public outcry is a big reason why the city changed its mind. Signs like these fighting for Annette Billings seem to have worked. Milford City Council voted to terminate eminent domain with massive applause.
I'd like to make a motion to terminate eminent domain.
I second. And massive support for the woman at the center of it all.
The phone's gone off all day long. I've even had a cousin in Texas call me, and I didn't get to talk to her, but she's called me. So yeah, I need to call her back. I've been on the phone all day.
The city was looking to build a bike path and park off the property off of South Rehoboth Boulevard. Billings opposed the $20,000 they offered her, and that's when eminent domain began. When the public caught wind of this, they overwhelmingly showed their support for Billings, from t-shirts to billboards. City manager Mark Whitfield said the city heard these concerns and had a change of heart. I'm happy for everyone. I think I'm happy for the Billings. I'm happy for the city that we can move forward. It's a resolution, and I think there now becomes a healing process between the city and the residents, and we'll continue to work toward that. As for Billings, she says she's just happy that this is all over.
And get back to a normal, quiet life. I'm not used to going on the radio and the TV. That's not my forte.
Whitfield made it clear today the city will not try to acquire any of Billings' property in the case ever again. As for that bike path and park, the city told me that they're still determined to make it a reality, but they're still going to look into other options or in the future as they continue with this in this situation. I'm Charles Reinert in Milford, CoastTV News.
This week we've been following stories closely on eminent domain, but for context, perhaps we should break down exactly what eminent domain is. That's defined as when the government can take private property to use for something that benefits the public, like building a new road or a park in this case. Here's how it works. The government must explain why the land is needed, and they need to make sure the owner is fairly paid. Now, if the owner agrees to the offer, they are compensated for that property. Here in Milford, for context, they were paying $20,000. Billings said that wasn't enough. So, in this case, in all cases, then it goes to the court on the fairness of the takeover and the payment, which is what Billings was planning to do in Milford until the city's decision today.
The Billings case isn't the only eminent domain dispute that's drawn attention in Sussex County. In 2002, the Cannon family owned land on Route 54 near the beach that DelDOT wanted to use for a new road and nature area. The Cannons, they didn't want to give up their land. But the Supreme Court of Delaware ruled in DelDOT's favor, saying it would improve roads and help the environment. Then in 2015, it happened again with a man named Emil Lesko. DelDOT took some of his land for a Route 26 project to help ease traffic. Lesko wasn't happy with the money that DelDOT offered him, especially after they took down some of his trees and plants. In the end, the court agreed with DelDOT again, saying his opinion on the value of the land wasn't within the rules.
New tonight, the Sussex Preservation Coalition, that's a group dedicated to protecting the environment and open space. They're going to host a public session on the Cool Spring Crossing development. That proposal is a 637-acre multi-use development planned for Route 9 and Cool Spring Road. You see it here on your screen near Milton. This meeting is 7 p.m. at the Lewis Public Library next Thursday, the 29th. The Preservation Coalition worries that Cool Spring Crossing, with thousands of homes, a YMCA, and more, would be bad for traffic, nature, and people's way of life. Though Cool Spring Crossing's marketing firm says it's preserving thousands of acres, this comes after a Sussex County hearing on the proposal was postponed due to concerns over time to review all those ordinances.
Fenwick Island continues to work on its 2024 comprehensive plan. That's a document that outlines the goals for the town. This morning, they held a first reading of an ordinance that would approve that plan. They've been working on this for 2 years, and it covers everything from street safety to beach and dunes, coastal flooding, community development, and more. Tomorrow, there is going to be a second reading of the ordinance to adopt the plan, and if it's approved, then the plan would be sent to Governor Carney's desk for approval.
Let's take a live look right now into West Ocean City. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us with a look at our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Maddie. And our forecast includes a good deal of cloud cover, which is going to act like a wonderful, comfortable blanket for us for the rest of the evening. So we won't dip into the 20s or even the 30s, kind of mild comparatively speaking. Our Bay Health camera in Milford showing us right now. We have the thick cloud cover that's in place for us right now. Not ominous cloud cover, just some nice stratus or layered cloud cover in place for us. Temperatures are going to stay in the mid-40s for tonight with partly cloudy skies and mostly cloudy conditions for the late night hours. We do have some gusty winds along the coast, looking for about 25-mile-per-hour winds. So we have an active small craft advisory in effect until 7 o'clock Saturday, just for your FYI for your information. But we do see some scattered showers making its way across Baltimore and really throughout northern portions of the state, throughout portions of Newcastle, northern portions throughout the state, but not an immediate threat for us because we have warm air that's surging in our direction. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the rain and the cold we expect over this weekend. Maddie?
Paul, thank you. U.S. Wind has plans to build a massive wind farm off the coast of Delmarva. To sweeten the deal for the communities that would be impacted, they've been offering what's called a community benefits package. But it has some strings attached. Towns would have to refrain from objecting or delaying any of the projects. Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan made it clear they're not going anywhere near that.
We're in total opposition to the project. It jeopardizes the landscape, the viewscape of Ocean City and the future of Ocean City, and there's no community benefit package that's going to override that. And we would be compromising our own position to even consider something like that. So I thought the best thing was just to flat out let them know, thank you, but absolutely no thank you.
U.S. Wind is offering payments of up to $2 million to be dispersed to communities over a 20-year period.
Let's go into our Coast TV poll now, and we want to know, what do you think about Ocean City turning down U.S. Wind's community benefits agreement? We saw it leaning one way earlier in the 5, and now let's look at the numbers.
Still there, 71% think Ocean City is asserting its independence, but 29% say that's a missed opportunity. That would be a lot of money for the town.
Now, that has grown a little bit there, 71%. If you haven't voted yet, you can still get involved in all of this. Go to CoastTV.com or use our Coast TV mobile app. Happening now, firefighting. It's a tough job, and now there are new rules in the first state to make sure crews are well prepared. This all comes from the state's Fire Prevention Commission. Senior fire officers and fire chief will now undergo advanced training to handle emergencies more effectively. All live training scenarios must now be reviewed and supervised, since commanders must make sure that any firefighter distress signals or injuries are properly reported. All firefighting equipment, that has to meet stringent requirements of the National Fire Protection Association. Now, we have more on these new regulations. That can be found on our website, CoastTV.com.
Johnson Road will be closed between Anderson Corner and Simpler Branch Roads. That starts tomorrow in Georgetown. It will last through March 1st. According to DelDOT, it's all to install a crossroad pipe. A detour will be in place to guide drivers towards Anderson Corner Road and Route 5.
Continuing with Georgetown, 2 positions are open on the Board of Adjustment. Those terms last for 3 years. Each board member must live in Georgetown and be up on the latest issues that are happening in the town. If you're interested in a position, please submit a letter by March 1st. That's coming right up to the planning department.
Ocean View Town Council wants input on proposed budget plans. The town said during its budget workshop that it will review the fiscal year 2025 operating plan, along with a 5-year capital improvement program and a water fund operating budget. That session will take place February 27th at 3 p.m.
Paying to park in Rehoboth Beach just got more expensive. A lot more expensive. It's now going to cost you $4 an hour to park, more than some cities in our region. CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber shows us why some people understand the change because, well, everything seems to be getting more expensive nowadays, while others are just upset.
Good one. Paul Cheney and his wife regularly visit Rehoboth Beach during the off-season, but rarely visit during the summer because of the parking. Cheney thinks the increase from $3 to $4 for hourly parking will hurt the area.
I think it's terrible. I think, you're going to hurt the businesses here. And they're trying to get what they lost during COVID. And I just think it's terrible.
On the other hand, Michael Adcock, who visits the nation's summer capital a few times a year, thinks the increase is not that bad.
Pretty reasonable increase compared to a lot of other things. So, I mean, anyone who's going to a grocery store can tell you that.
The city says the increase was needed to generate more funding for city projects, as well as provide employees with proper benefits. Maggie Shaw, a Rehoboth Beach local, understands prices may have to increase to keep up with rising costs, but hopes the city keeps people in mind when making these decisions.
I hate to see that they would not come because it got too expensive and go elsewhere. So Rehoboth needs to remain inviting to all, and hopefully they'll be looking at that when they do raise the cost for parking and other things that are necessary.
Permit parking rates went up too. The city says parking costs went up approximately 30% across the board.
That was CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber. The new hourly meter rate will go into effect on May 15th of this year when the paid parking season begins. With prices going up, we did want to see how Rehoboth stacks up to other parking fees. Get this, DC meters downtown, those are just $2.30 an hour. Some in Philly are $1.50 an hour. Now back on the coast, let's clarify, this is for the paid parking season that begins in May. Dewey Beach recently changed its parking rate from $3 to $3.50 per hour on all of their parking meters. In Lewis, the parking department says they're not sure yet if fee increases are coming, but the mayor and city council is expected to talk about it at a later meeting. Right now in Lewis, the parking rate for downtown is $1.50 and it's $2.50 at the beach. Meanwhile, Bethany Beach says no change, so parking there is still $3 an hour. And Ocean City town manager also saying no change. There, it's going to be $3 an hour.
We're just getting started.
DelDOT's plans to make this intersection safe in Milton, what the agency wants to add to help the community.
And we're going to expect for spitting showers to kick off your Friday. But for Saturday, we have a job fair. And the job fair forecast, by the way, join us Saturday at 10 to 2 o'clock, by the way. And we're looking for temperatures to stay in the low 40s throughout the day and the winds out of the northwest.
But first, accessible open space, the new rules one Lewis committee wants to set in stone. We're back in just 60 seconds.
Treat your Valentine to a new tub or shower from Coastal Bath.
In 2 days, they did this work, which was fantastic. Put in a brand new grab bars, a docking station, and a bench to my height. I think Coastal Bath is an oh my gosh and a wow.
Take advantage of Coastal Bath's sweet savings. Right now, receive a free shower door plus no interest, no payments until 2025. Local and family owned. Call Coastal Bath today.
Give your backyard a cozy enhancement with Patio Systems in Lewis, Delaware. Integrity is the pillar of our craft. With quality craftsmanship to transform your yard or deck into a custom oasis, providing you comfort all year round. Take control of the elements with the Shore's best selection of pergolas, retractable awnings, screen and glass enclosures, and a wide selection of modern decking and railing systems personalized your way. For exceptional workmanship at reasonable prices, contact Patio Systems, your backyard living specialist. Locally owned and operated since 2001.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Developments in the city of Lewis might start looking greener. A new committee trying to paint a picture of what open space should look like.
In the newsroom is CoastTV News anchor Mallory Metzner. We're talking anything here, Mallory, from trees to trails to buffers and boat slips.
Charlie, Maddie, the Lewis Planning Commission's Open Space Subcommittee tossed around a lot of ideas today, but there are still a lot of gray areas as to what open space should look like. However, one thing is for sure, they want to make these areas accessible to the public. Let's take you to the 4th Street Forest for a better idea of what an open space in the city of Lewis already looks like. The subcommittee wants spaces like this to be centrally located in the community, including in new developments. Size requirements for open space could be based on the overall development size and how many lots it has. Buffers might be used to meet that requirement, but not wetland buffers.
Someplace like Mariner's Retreat is the perfect example. Many more people than live in that subdivision are using the trail systems, but they're very concerned about liability. If someone on a bicycle hits a tree, who's liable for it?
Another question raised was whether or not the city should take over management of these open spaces being created within subdivisions. The committee talked about getting on the agenda for the Mayor and City Council workshop meeting in April. Maddie, Charlie.
Friday's final hours will include some raindrops falling on all our heads. We'll have a sing-songy type of a forecast coming up in a moment.
Your tax return over there. Your tax return at Alton Brothers Home Furnishings in Salisbury.
Get more for your tax money with Red Tag savings, 40 to 75% off. Alton Brothers, furnishing Delmarva for over 75 years.
Delivered to your home with care.
When you have damage caused by frozen or burst pipes, getting help fast is crucial. Royal Plus offers immediate and professional cleanup services if you should suffer damage from frozen pipes. Our water extraction and restoration repair technicians are experts at restoring any structure, location, or property type, and are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to respond to your water emergency. In disaster's wake, there's one call to make: Royal Plus. Find us at royalplus.com. We bring calm to the chaos.
When you smoke inside, you're not the only one who inhales. Secondhand smoke causes cancer and heart disease in adults, and respiratory problems in children, and SIDS in infants. If you smoke or vape, take it outside.
Coverage on the road, in your community, along the coast. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, live on the street, day or night. From breaking news to weather in your town. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, coverage you can count on.
Take the wheel. Grandma wants to say something.
Let's solve the puzzle. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Do you ever interrupt Grandma in the middle of a solve?
Thursday at 7 on CoastTV.
Your tax return over there. Your tax return at Alton Brothers Home Furnishings in Salisbury.
Get more for your tax money with Red Tag savings, 40 to 75% off. Alton Brothers, furnishing Delmarva for over 75 years.
Delivered to your home with care.
Hey Delmarva, this is MJ Laughlin with IG Burton Chevrolet in Melford, Seaford, Lewis, and Berlin. Discover savings on 2024 Silverado trucks with discounts over $9,000 or get low APR financing at 2.9% for 72 months. Check out these savings on SUVs, 1.9% APR and no payment for 90 days. Details online at igburton.com or any IG Burton Chevrolet location in Melford, Seaford, Lewis, or Berlin. Nobody beats a Burton deal. Nobody.
I want you to think about the weather in this terminology. Even when I'm talking about the bad part of the weather, it's really not all that bad considering how things could be. All right? Just keep that in mind as we go through the forecast. Our Orsted camera right now in West OC, we're at 44 degrees with the winds at about 8 miles per hour. And we're going to stay about mid to upper 40s for the rest of the night, thanks to the cloud cover that stays in place for us. So, it just kind of keeps the warmth close to the ground for us. Now, we actually had a high today of 51 degrees, a low of 23. A little bit above the norm for the high and a little bit below the norm, but we weren't breaking in or getting close to any kind of records whatsoever. We do have the small craft advisory in effect along the entire East Coast. We have a surge of warm air that's going to begin to push in our direction. And when we're talking about warm air inspired scattered showers, well, they tend to be just light scattered showers. But If you're in search of the forecast and you're not quite comfortable with the app, well, we do have our weather line available for you 24 hours a day at 443-880-9100. And of course, it's sponsored by Baird, Mendelis, Brockstedt, and Federico. And it's for free, just for you. 44 degrees right now. That's where we are in Lewis, as well as Indian River Inlet, Bethany Beach, Ocean City, Georgetown. We're at 46 in Greenwood and Milford, 47 in Seaford, 45 in Milton at this hour. The winds are pushing out of the south with our forecast for Friday morning. We start out at 50 degrees, warmer than where we are right now, thanks to the cloud cover. That's why the cloud cover acts like a blanket overnight. Then we're looking for widespread rain. That's going to hit everybody. I don't see anybody escaping the rain, but get this. Even though I'm talking about rain, it's not all that bad because we're talking about 1/10 of an inch to maybe 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/3 of an inch of rain for the entire rain event. That's relatively light stuff, folks. Then Saturday, we're clear of the rain, but then the winds change direction out of the north, so the cold air steps in on Friday, and then it really puts its foot down on Sunday morning. Look at where we are Sunday morning. Temperatures in the mid-20s. And the winds added to that, it's going to make it feel like, I'll just show you. All right, here we go. Rain forecast for Georgetown, Rehoboth Beach, and Ocean City. No one's going above 1/3 of an inch for right now. Let's talk about Saturday and what it's going to feel like and why I dropped my syllables and my language and my volume here. 25 Saturday night, right? This is where we're going to end up at 7:30 in the morning Sunday. It's going to feel like 20 degrees in Fenwick Island, Bethany Beach, Dewey Beach, Rehoboth, Lewis. It's going to feel like 16 degrees in Millsboro, Georgetown, Ellendale. It's going to feel like 17 in Delmar, Seaford, and 18 is what it's going to feel like in Milton at that time of the morning. So we're looking for showers on Friday, but we clear out in time for Sunday. That's going to be the case along the entire coast, but we're going to be warm on Friday than any other day. So keep that in mind. Rainy on Friday, cold on Sunday. Here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling extended forecast, where we warm up nicely by the time we get to next Tuesday and Wednesday.
I like how Paul dragged that out there nicely. DelDOT wants to convert the Milton intersection of Shingle Point Road, Harbison Road, and Chestnut Street into all-way stops. At Milton's recent town council meeting, Peter Haig, chief traffic engineer for DelDOT, said that he wants to do this to increase traffic safety in the town. The proposal comes after last year's deadlock vote in the town council on 2 different 4-way stop suggestions.
The city of Milford has introduced new EV charging stations at Northeast Front Street, aiming to improve downtown foot traffic and support travelers on Route 1 and 113. The initiative is funded by Denrick's DC Fast Vehicle Charging Station Grant Program. That's through the VW Mitigation Settlement Fund that happened in 2022. A ribbon cutting for those new chargers is March 6th at 11 a.m. Hey, here's something to look forward to this weekend. Our company, Draper Media, is hosting a job fair this Saturday. It's not just jobs with us, it's with a lot of folks here. The career fair is from 10 to 2 at Del Tech in Georgetown. So if you're looking for a job or want to switch careers, just come on out.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Tonight, the Philadelphia 76ers are squaring off with the New York Knicks, an Eastern Conference opponent 1 spot ahead of them in the standings. Philly is aiming to end a 5-game skid at home with a victory tonight. The Knicks are in 4th with a 33-22 record, 1 game ahead of the Sixers. This is their second matchup of the season. Back on January 6th, New York won by 36 points. Tonight, Philly will once again look to current offensive leaders Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey as Joel Embiid remains out with an injured knee. The Sixers are looking to redeem themselves after losing 7 of their last 10 games. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. from Philadelphia. To ECAC boys basketball, Saints Peter and Paul hoping to move on in the private school tournament and taking on Cristo Rey Jesuit Hornets. The Sabres are motivated to earn another win over the Hornets. 2 weeks ago, they took the matchup 66-53. With the win tonight, the Sabres would play in the MIAA Finals for the 2nd straight year. Check out highlights on the final score at 10:30 p.m. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
When your job feels humdrum, you can still find that fun. I take a chance, I do. Or you spend the whole day working that 5-game parlay.
I'll take Philly +2.
Yes. When taking a chance becomes a victory dance, it's so fun to do. Or you go money line, it comes through, you feel fun.
More than fun, it's true.
Life would be dull if we never took a chance. Bet Rivers. Take a chance.
I'm Nathan Hudson from Laurel, and I utilize the USDA's Wetland Reserve Easement Program to improve water quality and wildlife habitat on my farm. Wetlands improve water quality by filtering sediments and chemicals while providing food and shelter for wildlife. If you have at least 10 acres, you may be eligible for 75% or more of the fair market value and restoration costs for placing an easement on your wooded or ag lands. To learn more about this program, stop by your local USDA Service Center.
Right now, it's your choice during the Subaru A Lot to Love event going on at Gateway Subaru. Choose what fits your lifestyle and budget. Choose to lease a new 2024 Subaru Forester for only $299 a month, or take advantage of financing rates as low as 2.9%. Lease a new 2024 Subaru Outback for only $299 a month, or take advantage of financing rates as low as 1.9%. Gateway Subaru, where every choice leads to a new adventure. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Next Jeopardy!
$100,000 and a spot in the Tournament of Champions on the line.
It all comes down to this on Jeopardy! Thursday at 7:30 on CoastTV.
It's time to experience an extraordinary lineup of entertainment at the Ocean City Performing Arts Center. Enjoy performances by the Four Phantoms in concert on February 4th, Wheel of Fortune Live on February 29th, The Simon and Garfunkel Story March 18th, and The Price is Right Live on April 1st. The excitement is building, and now it's your turn to be a part of it. Secure your seats at ococean.com/pack and join us for the most amazing season yet. Don't miss out. Come experience the magic of live performances all in one place at the Ocean City Performing Arts Center. See you there.
WRDE First Alert Weather, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland.
The view from our dry tech camera indicating we have scattered cloud cover in place. Temperatures will stay in the mid-40s for the rest of the evening. And keep in mind that we anticipate that it's going to be a relatively mild day for us for the overnight period because it's going to stay in the 50s. We see scattered showers skipping along the most northern portions of the state. Won't quite visit us just yet, but wait till we get to, let's say, Friday morning. That's when the rain will begin to hit for us. And then here's a look at your extended forecast.
Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 6.
We're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.